when you see Michael Atwater and Rickey Langston together on this show, we either gonna be arguing and we rarely gonna be right. But with these rankings here on Friday Night Finals, this is our preseason high school football rankings for all 18 high schools in the Northwest Georgia area. So what we're gonna do right here on the show now, we're gonna build up to number one. It's kind of like New Year, waiting for the ball to drop. Rick is gonna give you 10 through 18, and I will give you 9 through 1. And throughout the season, the Roman League Prediction Center, we'll have Philip on here. There's gonna be a lot of arguing. It's gonna be enjoyable. But Rick,
are we gonna keep up with the records this year?
We're gonna keep up with the records because, as our public know, I won last year. I don't have a problem beating you. I don't have a problem beating Philip. I don't have a problem beating Lavelle because you know as well we do college and pro.
Well, let's get into these rankings then.
Philip know I'm coming after.
Coming in at number 18, we have your Woodland Wildcats.
Finished 0-10 last year, but I think Woodland can turn some things around. Rick, what do you think about Woodland?
I think Woodland's getting a new coach, and the coach that came in 4 years ago, he inherited a team that was a contender, and they won that first year, and then they went on kind of a decline. And I think this first year head coach here is going to be a rebuilding year for him. He got to get the players to believe in his system.
Got to buy into it.
Yeah, and once they buy into his system, from my understanding, they hadn't been going to passing camps and hadn't been going to different camps at colleges because the booster club just wasn't raising the money. Well, this year they went to some camps, they went to some passing leagues, and I think the kids are excited about playing Woodland football again. So coming in at number 17 is your Armurchie Indians.
Armurchie finished with a 1-9 record last year. Armurchie hadn't been a relevant football program in the last 15 to 20 years, but that doesn't mean things couldn't change. Can never say the coach's name out there at Armurchie, but he's getting some results by these guys going to passing leagues and in the weight room. I think Armurchie can eventually turn it around out there.
Coming in at number 16, we have your Gordon Central Warriors.
Gordon Central also is a team finished 1-9. Actually, one of the games I officiated last year, they won the game. Gordon Central actually played the state champion Calhoun Yellow Jackets close for about 9 minutes. Football, high school is 4 to 8 minutes. So you can't win a game in 9 minutes. But Gordon Central can get that fire back like they had a couple years ago with the Prather boys, and they made a little run into the state playoffs. So Coach Humphreys and Gordon Central, they could make some noise down the line. Well, that's a young team.
You know, last year when I told you I predicted Gordon Central would go 2-8, you laughed at me. But they had just graduated 18 seniors. And I was just giving you that was my prediction. But now those younger players they've had to play up. So I think that now they're a little more talented than they were last year. And
so let me get a prediction this year.
I think this year we're looking at more of a 5-5 ball team.
Y'all hear it. I hope y'all got that recorded. Who's number 15?
At number 15, we're going to talk about your Unity Christian Lions.
Unity Christian is the only private school here on our rankings because they're the only private school in the Floyd County area. They finished with a 6-3 record under Coach Mark Ackerman last year. They play in the GICAA, which is the Georgia Independent Christian Athletic Association. Not a lot of great talent in that league, but it's enough talent to be reckoned with. Unity Christian, they're expecting some big things.
Well, I got a
Christian,
question.
It's serious.
So you're saying Unity Christian, if they lined up between the hashes against Woodland, Armurchie, or Gordon Central, Unity Christian again the business?
I don't know about giving them the business, but it could be a competitive contest.
Because you have them ranked ahead of them.
Because their record was better than the other team's record from last year.
So we're basing this off of last year's record.
Could you just continue to read the number?
At number 14, we have the Rockmart Yellow Jackets.
Rockmart Yellow Jackets. Rockmart, they finished with a 3-8 season last year. Coach Dan Duff is gone. He was one of the coaches at Rockmart for years. Rockmart is trying to rebuild and bring that thing back. Rockmart prediction this year, what would be their record?
Rockmart was 3-8 last year. This year, I said they win 2 more games than last year. They finished at 5-5. Coming in at number 13, and this is a shocker, because all of last year, everybody thought I was against the Rome Wolves. But coming in at 13, we have the Rome Wolves.
Rome, I am not against you. This is strictly what we have come up with is where we think you are as far as all of the teams in this area. You struggled last year. You may struggle this year under Coach John Reed. But I want your fans and I want everybody to know Rome is going in the right direction. Rome will be a program, not this year. There'll be a program to reckon with the next couple of years. They have some good talent at the middle school level. Hey, don't tell nobody. They got a running back in the 9th grade named Jemias Griffin. Will be one of the top running backs in the state of Georgia in 3 years. Rome will be a team to reckon with. Just Rome faithful. Give them some time.
Coming in at number 12, and I'm surprised that they're this low in the poll because, you know, we were the biased gentleman here, or your Cedartown Bulldogs at number 12.
Now I ask, who is the biased gentleman?
Michael Atwater. I'm surprised Cedartown is not at number 3 or 4.
You know, sometimes people feel like people can't change, you know. I'm trying to be away from the biasness. Cedartown made the playoffs last year. They finished with a 3-8 record. Had a play-in game where they defeated Pepperland Rockmart. They're in a competitive Region 5 AAA. Cedartown has a lot of talent. We were just told earlier they had 89 kids out for middle school football. A lot of young guys out there. This is still life after Nick Chubb. You know, Cedartown right now it's kind of like being in a marriage and you're getting over the divorce. They're trying to get back on their feet, just waiting to excel is the theme in Cedartown. But Cedartown is definitely a team led by Coach Hendricks that will be a force to reckon with. They will make the playoffs. Cedartown record this year will be
4-6. You just said Trayvon Wofford, prolific passer, but nobody to throw the ball to.
Tell them who's number 11, man. Before we go.
At number 11, we had a Cass Cardinals.
Cass Colonels out of 7, 5A, playing the same region with Rome High. It's a program that has never been known for high school football. Expecting some big things out down there in White Georgia to do school. They have games coming up with Cartersville, the Dashville. The game with Rome is always intriguing. The Cass Colonels, team to be reckoned with. So, Rick, when we come back, we're going to give you our top 10 preseason Rome Elite high school football rankings. We're back here with our Rome Elite rankings. Now we're going to do 6 through 10 in our preseason Northwest Georgia high school football ranking. And coming in at number 10, the Phoenix Horizon, Sonoraville Phoenix. We're talking about Sonoraville.
Sonoraville Phoenix. Oh man, Sonoraville's a team. They have some talent, but they can't seem to get it all in the right place at the same time. They resemble a whole lot of your Adaroville Tigers, and I guess that's because Adaroville's head coach went over, and now he's the head coach of Sonoraville. But I think Sonora will be competitive this year. They're in a tougher region with your Calhouns and your Adaroville and your Ringos. I think Sonora will finish at 6-4 this year.
Ooh, all predictions. I definitely mean they'll make the playoffs then. What about your number 9 team, the Tryon Bulldogs?
The Tryon Bulldogs. That was the team I talked about earlier. Tryon's going to have to score some points. They averaged 17 points a game last year, and they gave up 19. So we know what that amounted to. Losses. They finished, like I said, 5-5, and a lot of their opponents are, like I said, in the metro Atlanta area. So anytime they're playing an away game, Tryon has to ride anywhere from 2 to 2.5 hours just to play a game.
I think they're in the region with Mount Perrin and
they're
all those
Mount
teams.
Perrin, yeah, Mount Pisgah. So I think with Tryon, man, they're probably looking at another 5-5 season because I know from back when I played, we would ride a bus way down to South Georgia to play. When we got there, we were already tired from the bus ride.
Who is number 8 on our rookie?
Oh, man. Number 8, you have the Purple Dragon.
Mr. 485, Devin Collins.
Is that a highway?
Yeah, it's going through Louisville where Phillip is from, up in that area. They got a new intersection, 485.
485.
Well, 485 around here in Rome, Georgia, is Mr. Devin Collins, who, if you don't know, is the single-season rushing record leader for most yards in the game against Rockmart Yellow Jackets last year. And guess what? He lost that game. They were defeated by Rockmart 34-32. Nevertheless, Devin Collins is on the radar of college coaches under Coach Rick Hurst and Pepper this year, which we want to send our condolences to the young man that lost his life, Pepper, earlier this week by gun violence or gun-inflicted wound, which he was supposedly cleaning his gun. Wherever the case may be, Rome Elite Sports is sending their condolences. back on track about football.
Well, matter of fact, Mike, let's have a moment of silence. All right. Back to our number 7 pick is the Darlington Tigers.
Philip Edge knows a lot about Darlington Tiger. Now, we just gave a moment of silence for the fallen kid at Pepper. We're going to give a moment of silence for my boy gone at Darlington, Mr. Trey Edge, one of the most exciting and prolific running backs in this area in years. Trey has moved his talent on to Jefferson City, Tennessee, and the Carson Newman Eagles. Be expecting some big things from him. What are we expecting from the Darlington Tigers, though?
Hey, man, it's like Tommy Atwater. Man, he get his kids to buy into a system that he runs. He don't always have the most talented kids, but they believe and they have heart and they're well conditioned. You know, I had a chance to be around that program for 3 years because my son, Trey Langston, played halfback at Darlington. So I've seen the conditioning that they go through, the running, and I've seen how the nutrition, and they take care of their athletes. And Darlington's always going to be around contending. They may not get there every year, but they're right on the cusp.
Who we got at number 6?
Coming.
Hold on, my bad. Darlington record will be what this year?
Darlington in this loaded 7-2A,
Pay attention, Philip.
in this loaded division that they're in, I still think that Darlington will contend and Darlington will finish at 7-3.
7-3 record. That would be good enough to get. So, are we going to insinuate that Darlington won't repeat as region champs?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that your Chattooga Indians
Wow.
will win 7AA,
Well,
and they will be closely followed by the Model Blue Devils.
Y'all heard it. Y'all, hey, our cameraman, y'all heard it here first. We'll get in that in a minute. Who's number 6 in our preseason ranking?
Well, number 6 coming in, another Bartow County school will be your Adairsville Tigers.
Adairsville last year finished with a 10-2 record. Adairsville has a lot of talent down there. If you don't know, they got one of their players in the NFL now, playing for the Atlanta Falcons, Mr. Vic Beasley. We're looking to get him on the show sometime soon. Vic Collins, Roma League Sports Collins. With that said, Adairsville Tigers will probably contend with Calhoun and Ringgold again for the Region 6 AAA title this upcoming season. Hey, we've gotten down to our top 5 team to start this season off in our preseason rankings. They're going to be updated every week. When we come back, our Fab 5, our Chris Webber, our Jalen Rose. Y'all remember that Fab 5. We'll be back.
We're back on Rome Elite Sports Network and coming in with our number 5 through 1 picks in our ranking. Coming in at number 5, we have your Coosa Eagles out of Alabama.
Coosa Eagles led by Justin Ware. Peyton Reeder, one of the top O-linemen in the area. Coosa last year, Darlington defeated them 7-0, correct?
Correct.
Who won between Coosa and Model? Was it Model?
Model.
Coosa still made a run in the playoffs. Question I have for you, Rick, can Coosa make another run in the playoffs?
Yes, Coosa will make another run in the playoffs, and they'll get one of the 4 spots in that 7AA region, and
that region loaded, man. Dade
Yes.
County, Gordon, Lee.
I think Coosa needs to get consistent play from their quarterback. If they can get consistent play for their quarterbacks and he can deliver the ball on time, Coosa's going to be hard to contend with.
At number 4 in our ranking, the Region 7AA champions.
I was talking about basketball.
Oh, you talking about
Yeah, I was
basketball?
talking about basketball.
Yeah, because we're going to get into who we think going to win the region.
Yeah.
Chattooga Indians. Chattooga Indians come in at number 4 in our preseason rankings. Folks, I am telling you, they got a new gym up there, a new attitude. They have the twin Isaac and Isaiah Foster, Cam Evans, Travell Bankston, Dee McCutcheon. They didn't lose anybody. What would Chattooga record be this year, Rick?
Chattooga record this year, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Chattooga's they're going to finish the regular season at, let's say, 9-1.
Woo! Hey, I don't think they heard that, Rick. Could you say it again?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they'll finish the regular season at 9-1.
So, before we break down that 9-1, do you see Darlington, Model, or Coosa beating Chattooga this year?
The team that I see that has a chance in this region to beat Chattooga this year is probably going to be the Darlington Tigers.
Darlington Tigers. We're not just saying it because our cameraman from Darlington.
No, because Darlington is always sound and they're fundamental. They don't make many mistakes. So if you make mistakes and turn the ball over against them, you got problems. So I think that when Darlington and Chattooga meets, I think that Darlington will come out with the win. But ultimately, that'll be the only loss Chattooga face in the 7AA.
So you don't think our number 3 team in the rankings can beat Chattooga? Model Blue Devils?
No, I don't think so.
Hey, this region 7AA going to be loaded this year. Model comes in number 3 in our preseason rankings. Model with the Whitehall, Mr. T.J. Arnold, Chris Dublin. Hey, folks. Chris Dublin, y'all heard it here first. Chris Dublin may be the best running back in this area. Nothing against Justin Ware, nothing against Devin Collins, 2 great backs. Chris Dublin has prolific speed, and when he gets to that second level, it's a wrap. Chris Dublin, he reminds me so much of Trey Edge. He plays just like he can catch out of the backfield, and like I said, when he gets to that next level, it's a done data. For those that don't know what done data means, it's over. That's what that means, because people may not know that. Who number 2 in our ranking, man?
Oh, man. Those Cartersville Purple Hurricanes.
Cartersville Purple Hurricanes, led by Joey King. Cartersville last year made it to the semifinals. A lot of people didn't expect them to get there. Cartersville made it to the semifinals last year, getting defeated by the champion Buford Wolves. Buford seems like they win every year. They've been winning championships.
It just kind of seemed like it's an omen. When Buford was in AA, they ended Calhoun's season just about every year. Now that they've moved up to 4A, it's like it's Cartersville.
Yeah,
it's like if it wasn't a Buford, Cartersville would have at least 2 of the last 4 state championships.
I would say this, that Cartersville has. They have some good young talent, good receivers, but the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is probably the best player in this area by far. Out of all the high school players, better than the Kalen Riley, Jack Creamers, Trevor Lawrence may be the top prospect in this area. Speaking of Kalen Riley, our number 1 team to start our season, really, they were number 1 all last year.
Yeah.
They've been number 1 again to start this year. Coach Hal Lamb and the Calhoun Yellow Jackets, who has won 2 championships out of the last 3 seasons. He won it at AA, defeating Buford. He's won it at AAA. They defeated Washington County. I will safely say this, Calhoun has one of the top 10 or 15 programs in the state of Georgia.
Well, that was my next question for you, because me and you had a discussion 4 years ago, and I asked you, was Calhoun a dynasty? And you said no, because they only had 1 state championship. So after winning this past year, I was going to ask you that same question again. Not to count that they won their region for the last 14 years.
At first, the Calhoun Yellow Jackets reminded me of the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves won their division 15 straight years, only 1 World Series title. At the time, we had this discussion, Calhoun had won their region title 10 straight years, 1 championship. Now Calhoun with 2 under the belt. What you have to add in, they're putting top players in college. They have a loaded, talented team this year. Kalen Riley, who is verbally committed to Mercer. You have Jyree Wilson, Jack DeFore, Landon Rice committed to Auburn. They have some big-time talent at Calhoun. It goes off to Coach Hal Lamb and his coaching staff. Coach Hal Lamb is one of the best coaches, not just high school football. He's one of the best coaches, period. I mean, to go 10-0 every year, you're going to get a bump here and there. But to continue to produce talent like he's doing at Calhoun, it's amazing. It's simply amazing on how he's putting talent out there, and you constantly winning year in, year out. And on top of that, he has great talent. So it's safe to say Coach Lamb is the Nick Saban of Northwest Georgia. Would you say that?
That's safe to say.
Great talent, great team. Now, as we wrap up this show, when we get together for another Friday Night Finals show, we're going to get into some college football. Pro football is right around the corner. But the next time you see us together, Phillip Edge will be right here in the middle. We'll be predicting our top 7 or 8 games. And I want you to keep record at home. Because Philip will say he beat me, Rick will say he beat me, and I want them to know personally that I'm going to win more games this year at the Rome Elite Prediction Center. What? Make that prediction. You can't, can you?
All I know, I can't argue with you. You don't remember your picks. We write them down, you lose them. So
we're going to keep up with them this year.
So we need a tally board that stays behind us. So every show we come on, we can put wins and losses.
Philip already has 2 losses because he's rookie. He got to carry the bags.
So he started off 0-2.
Yeah, he got to carry the bags and stuff.
Not like to mention he's a New York Giants fan.
Yeah, New York Giants. Hey, that's another thing. Let me go on record saying this before we end this show. When the Dallas Cowboys will defeat the New York Giants twice this season, if the Dallas Cowboys lose either one of those games to the New York Giants, I would do the Ice Bucket Challenge on the air. I don't know if they do the Ice Bucket Challenge anymore. I would do the Ice Bucket Challenge on the air. So,
Mike, I want you to explain something to me before we go. I don't know if Philip can zoom in on this, but I found something interesting on Facebook the other day. They had a picture of a tornado, and they said that tornado warning in Texas. It advised all residents to go to Cowboys Stadium because there's no chance of a touchdown. I don't know if he can zoom in on that, but it's a tornado, and they're saying you safe if you go to Cowboys Stadium because it ain't gonna touch down. Can you take us out, man? That's a wrap on Rome Elite Sports Network. We got one angry here. I might have to run to my car.